person that I spoke to yesterday that thought it was mid, thought it was it's all right. Superman's all right. So everybody else I talked to loved it, but this one person I talked to last night, it's all right. But then there's another person I talked to, and she straight up hated it.
Really?
Like, hated it. And this person, she's no DC hater by any stretch of the imagination. And they use words like convoluted. They use words like messy. They used the phrase massively disappointed. And this is somebody who's, not an extremist. Oh, I love comic book movies. Or I hate comic book movies, or I love the old DC, or I hate the old. No, pretty balanced person, and they straight up hated it. Now, I have to emphasize, this is one person, but again, in the service of fairness, I just kind of felt like if I'm going to rush onto my show and put up thumbnails about talking about every time I have somebody tell me that they love Superman, if I'm going to do that, then it's only fair for me to also come out and say, hey, it's not all roses. It's not 100% of the people that I know that have seen it have loved it. If I'm going to tell you about the good, I need to tell you about the bad. And unfortunately, Rob, the streak I had, my personal streak that I had going here, of every single person I know who has seen this has loved it, that streak is now over.
Do I know this lovely lady?
You definitely know of. Okay, I know for a fact that you've met her.
Okay.
I know, but how much you know them behind the scenes, I'm not sure, but I absolutely know that you met her. But anyway, again, fairly balanced person. This isn't some extremist kind of thing, and they completely loved it. So, Rob, we always talk about how film is subjective, right? Different movies will hit us in different ways. And despite the fact that I think Warner Brothers, and despite the fact that I think a lot of fans, and hey, I'll put myself in here too, I think despite the fact that I would love to go into the opening of Superman where every single man, woman, and child on the face of God's glorious earth is singing hallelujah to the praises of how great Superman is. I want that. I want that. I think you want that. I think a lot of the fans watching the show want that. I know Warner Brothers wants that. I know James Gunn wants that. But the reality is, not everybody does. I have now talked to at least one person who was at least underwhelmed by it, and I've talked to one person who just straight up hates this movie and thinks it's terrible. So, I mean, that's the subjectivity film. Has it taken a little bit of the wind out of my sails as far as my excitement goes? Yes. Just say there's also...
But apparently, I'm the liar. I'm the problem. I can't be trusted. That was John Campier on Superman. Welcome back to Movies TV Mad and Saturday's edition of the DCU Daily, where you get my honest, subjective opinion. My opinion isn't necessarily the right universal opinion, but it's right from my point of view. And your opinion is right from your own point of view. There are no factual, universal opinions when it comes to film, television, and stories. And there are many people on Twitter, and even in my comments, accusing me of being a liar, accusing me of not of seeing Superman, telling me that I'm going to be sued for breaking my apparent NDA. Let me be clear here. If you think I'm a liar and I actually haven't seen this movie, So how can I actually break an NDA and be sued? Please make up your damn minds. So why did John Campier feel he had to make a video and talk about a couple of people who don't like Superman, who have made some points I've already made about the movie, by the way, but they didn't go into it as deeply as I have. And by the way, I haven't given away any spoilers. I haven't. Listen, at the end of the day, you don't need me, someone who's actually seen this film, to tell you it's basically a Naked Gun fucking parody. Put all the fucking clips together and you'll see how potentially bad this movie is going to be for you. The interview scene between Superman and Lois. Superman kicking the fucking door down and shouting like a fucking rage monster, like the Incredible fucking Hulk. Cringe, cringe, cringe. There's another clip that you'll see where he's saying some really weird dialogue that I can't even remember at this moment. There is evidence within the marketing of how fucking bad this movie is. But apparently, I am a liar. Anyway, why did Campier decide he needed to do this video to show the other side? What John Campier is attempting to tell you, that the reactions from this movie are mixed. This only means one thing, that the reviews are going to be mixed. The reactions will be from shills, they'll lie, they'll keep it positive. There'll be one or two honest people who'll be honest within the reactions. But even in the test screenings, the reactions were mixed. And now what Campier has told us here, a man who blocked me a while back, did nothing wrong, by the way. All I did was give him my opinion. I didn't threaten him. I didn't swear at him. And I think unless you're doing that, you shouldn't be blocked. Grace Randolph, the same. These are big babies who only want to be within their echo chambers, who only want to hear, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. Unlike me. I'm happy for you to call me a liar. I'm happy for you to troll me. All opinions are fucking welcome. All opinions are read, if not reacted to. I soak them all in. I think about it. I think about my conduct. I think about if my conduct is right or wrong. And my conduct has been absolutely right pretty much since I launched this platform, Movies TV Mad, in 2018. I've always been direct and honest with you. I've never told you what to think, merely on what I think. I'm a fan like you. The only difference between me and you, I was brought up within this fucking industry. Doesn't make me an expert. Doesn't mean my opinion on entertainment, TV and stories is any more relevant and important than yours. It means I've been there. I've seen how these fuckers' minds work, right? But it's even different now, because we all know we're in a mid-era of entertainment. And James Gunn's Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World Rebirth are more evidence of that. Even the reactions of Jurassic. Yeah, it's okay, it does a good job, there's, it looks great, blah, blah, blah. There's no character development, no, and you kind of shrug your shoulders after you've seen it, right? Well, James Gunn's Superman is fucking worse than that. And it is frustrating and it is disappointing. So what Campier is attempting to tell you here is that not everyone is loving this movie. Now, I don't watch Campier's videos every day. I don't even know if Campier likes this movie. I don't even know if Campier said he loves it or he hates it. Maybe he hasn't said anything. And if Campier hasn't said anything, that means he probably doesn't like the movie, but maybe I've missed it. Maybe he's been the normal shill Campier that he's always been. But the reality is, boys and girls, you don't need to have seen this film like I have. And I have seen this film. I don't need to prove that to you. It doesn't matter if you believe me or not. One person said to me, he does this with every new release. Well, I've done this in the past. I've done this with Aquaman. I did this with the Batman. I've done this with the Flash movie. I think I did it with Wonder Woman 84 because I had fucking seen those movies before you lot had. And I thought, as a DC and entertainment content creator, you may want to know my views on the movie. And if I had said that James Gunn is the bestest director ever, you would have wanted to give me a fucking Medal of fucking Valor, not ostracizing me, calling me names, and finding my videos and finding my adult movies and trying to post them online. I'm very proud of those movies, by the way. It was a time in my life where I was cut off by my family, needed money. I believe I'm a good actor. I was good at doing that. So anything you find of me on the internet is fucking fine. There's nothing I'm ashamed of. We say things in our lives in the past that maybe we don't hold those opinions in the present. So, I could say something now, then in 10 minutes' time, I may change my mind. So you finding that means nothing. If you muddy my reputation, that's okay with me. But I stand by everything I've ever said, even if I don't think it now. This is normal human behavior, to agree to disagree. But this culture, this generation doesn't fucking get a handshake and agreeing to disagree. So basically my prediction is that this movie will make no more than 100 million on opening domestic weekend, maybe lesser than that. Now they're claiming 20 million, around 20 million for the previews. If that's the case, probably the movie will actually make 70 million on the domestic, and they're going to pad it with the Amazon fan viewings as well. You can bet your bottom dollar than that. And the reviews, what I'm telling you right now from what Campier has said here, is the reviews are going to be mixed, which is very bad news for what Warner Brothers want for the Rotten Tomatoes ratings. And the cinema score is going to be very important as well, because it is to people today in studios. It isn't to me. I hate the fact, the over-reliance on cinema scores. I don't believe there should be cinema scores. I don't think Rotten Tomatoes and other aggregate sites should fucking exist. Because film has become, and entertainment and stories have become about the thumbs up and the thumbs down culture. And I don't fucking like it. A film should be enjoyed. When I was growing up, when I watched The A-Team or Knight Rider or E.T., if I didn't like something, right, if I didn't like an episode of The A-Team or Knight Rider, I wasn't writing letters and going, shrug my shoulders, turn the channel. That was it. That's what we did back then. We didn't have the apparatus to complain, and people's complaints these days are bullshit, but also the passive-aggressive shilling also is a problem today. And I will reiterate my opinion. James Gunn's Superman is nothing more than a Naked Gun parody, right? His Superman is an angry, toxic, straight white male because James Gunn is an alt-left extremist who hates straight white males. He is another Justin Baldoni who is a male feminist, right? And a lot of people feel bad for Justin. I don't. I think it's goated the way he's doing what he's doing with his legal team. But at the end of the day, you went around slaughtering alpha males, normal, straight guys. You got what you fucking deserved. And James Gunn is going to get, through the reaction to this Superman movie, exactly what he deserves. And I warned him via social media. I told you this yesterday and the day before. I told him, I tagged him and I said, if you take liberties with my hero, I will roast you. I'm going to roast him. When I do my spoiler review, I'm going to roast the shit out of this writer-director, because he's not the bestest director ever. He's a mid-director. The other day I saw Blu-ray Angel asking us, who's the better director, Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, or James Gunn? James Gunn shouldn't even be within that fucking company, and that, my friends, is the fact of the matter. Now, moving on, because I pretty much have lovely things to say about every Superman live-action TV show and movie, even Superman 4, movies like Superman Returns. There's something great in all of them. But here is new Hollywood And here's Mr. Ryan Coogler, a talented man, a talented director, and also a hack who wants to reboot one of my favourite shows, X-Files, which I won't be fucking watching. Well, he's the producer on the shitty, crappy, extremist alt-left propaganda Ironheart TV show on Disney Plus that nobody's interested in. We know now that this is a piece of shit. We knew this was going to be a piece of shit. We knew they would be putting down Tony Stark's Iron Man. It's what they fucking do. This is what he had to say. I used to watch Smallville, and I loved watching that show because I felt like it was a show where the creators were taking being young seriously. I love the idea of making a show about a smart college-age person who's been through some things. Ryan Coogler on Ironheart. How fucking dare you that you utter the word Smallville out of your fucking mouth just to uplift your piece of fucking shit. Smallville is one of the greatest comic book adaptations of all fucking time. And it's certainly up there as one of the best Superman adaptations of all time. Ironheart is a great representation of new Hollywood and mid-modern entertainment. So how fucking dare you? And by the way, Clark wasn't at college age till season 5. Did you even really watch this show? I don't think that you did. It's happening! It's finally happening! Brace yourselves, put your seatbelts on, everyone! Matt Reeves and Tomlin, I think it's Tomlin, isn't it? His writing partner, have finally fucking completed the script for the Batman 2. Fucking hallelujah! But hey, Matt Reeves looks incredibly well in that picture, Grace Randolph. Didn't you allude that Matt was really ill? Didn't you hint that Matt was actually fucking dying? Now, I don't know Matt's health. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. But look, he looks fucking well to me, Grace. Now, people say I should be sued for talking about Superman. By the way, I haven't broken any fucking rules because I didn't put down an official review and I never spoiled anything. And by the way, I've got so much dirt on Hollywood. Bring it fucking on. Let's see who wins. But I promise you, you won't get a fucking penny of my money. But anyway, it's done. Halle fucking Luya. I love Matt Reeves. You know why I love Matt Reeves? Because he's an auteur. He's talented. He's polite and respectful. And I love the shit out of his Batman movie. Another movie I saw early and was accused of being a liar. And everything that I said about that movie turned out to be fucking true. So either I've got psychic fucking powers, my name's really Sam Beckett, and I leap from life to life, putting movies right when they once went wrong. What a great job that would be. Or I'm a fucking honest Joe. But I don't need to prove that I'm an honest Joe. Keep calling me a fucking liar. It doesn't matter. But anyway, the Batman 2 script is finally ready. And fucking hallelujah, James Gunn was actually telling the truth about something. James Gunn's a bit like the boy who cried wolf. He's bullshitted us so many times, you never believe him when he's actually telling the truth. Matt Reeves is a notorious slow writer. But that's not the only reason this script took even longer than his first film's, the Batman script, took. Let's go through why he took so long. WB pressured him. They wanted his Penguin portion of his Batman 2 to be an HBO Max streaming show. So they took that portion of his story and they created the Penguin TV show. Sorry, not Penguin, Sophia. Because basically, that's what it is. Sophia is a bait and twist, right? That's what it is. It's about Sophia. Sophia is this powerful, strong girl boss. And the Penguin, of course, is a piece of shit, even though she's done just as bad things Penguin, and we had a young boy played by an actor of colour who was killed off for no fucking reason. So remember that. But let's go back to Matt Reeves. I love Matt Reeves' films. I loved The Batman. I did have an issue, and I said this on my official review, of the white racism in that movie. But Matt Reeves is going to be no different to anyone else who lives in LA. They are extremists and they hate us. They hate straight, white males, and we know that. That's the reason Bruce Wayne in the first Batman film isn't a playboy, because being attracted to women and being fucking normal is problematic to these fucking weirdos. Sorry, Matt, you seem like a lovely guy, but I have to say this. But anyway, despite that, I loved the reveal about the Arkhams in the movie. I loved what they did with Selena Kyle. I thought Robert Pattinson gave a fabulous performance. I thought the film was great. The movie making was great. There was barely any action in the movie, but actually that made it even better, because we all sat down for once in the modern entertainment industry, and we weren't talking about slow pacing. We enjoyed the fact there's actual great fucking dialogue and character interactions in a CBM, in a modern day movie. But there's another reason why this script took so long, because James Gunn, Peter Safran and David Zaslav were pressuring Matt to bring his movie universe over to the DCU, to make Robert Pattinson's Batman the DCU Batman. And Matt Reeves repeatedly said no. Matt Reeves repeatedly gave Gunn, Safran and Zaslav and WB Discovery the middle finger. Well done, Matt. Now, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know if, in fact, he will, in the end, bend the knee and allow this to happen. But this movie is ready. Now, even Gunn has reiterated publicly that the Batman 2 and this universe from Matt Reeves is part of DC Elseworlds. But let's be absolutely clear, especially to content creators like Boba Talks, who thinks James Gunn is the bestest ever and thinks that everything that James Gunn says is the word of God. He is a liar. All he cares about is DC Studios and the DCU, and doesn't give a shit about Matt's movie. Because if Matt's movie remains outside of the DCU and Matt's been allowed to write his script with, is it Matt Lin? Or whatever his name is, his writing partner, right? If their movie is theirs, this movie is going to make a shit ton of money, and much more money than James Gunn's Superman. And James Gunn knows that the embarrassment won't be so much when this piece of shit is released. There will be embarrassment for him there, because he's going to get roasted by a lot of people, and not just the Snyder fans, by the way. But the Batman 2, if it's allowed to be Matt's movie, and it's allowed to be outside the DCU, as they claim it to be, will make more money than James Gunn's Superman and will be more critically acclaimed. Matt Reeves' The Batman made $750 million globally during a global fucking pandemic. And obviously they tried to make him day and date, and he didn't allow it, and that's why the release date was basically delayed. Because people like Christopher Nolan and Matt Reeves love cinema as we do and hate fucking streaming, even though he's starting to embrace streaming a little bit because he's a businessman as well. The problem is with successful, talented directors, they also become more and more interwoven within the business. This is what went wrong with J.J. Abrams, a wonderful creative, a wonderful man, a wonderful writer. You know, like Russell T Davies, who brought us Doctor Who back in 2005. A wonderful guy, a wonderful creative who got corrupted by the business side of modern day entertainment. And that's why their careers have gone to the fucking dogs, because they betrayed their own legitimacy. And this is what happens when you get involved with these bunch of fucking vultures. But Matt Reeves' first movie was great. I have nothing to tell me that the Batman 2 won't be great. And I been giving you all the updates about this movie. I've been told certain things that are going on, and I've told you what's going on. And there has been times where it's looked like this movie won't happen. Well, the script is there. Someone made a great point, though, because there was a script for Batgirl as well, and in the end that was shelved. But they're not shelving a movie written and directed by Matt Reeves. Everyone wants to see this movie. Basically, not many people wanted to see Batgirl. Let's be fucking honest about that. But shelving that movie was plain wrong, considering it was much better than most of the DCEU movies they released later on after shelving that movie, which I saw and was a lot more superior than most of the final DCEU movies that we saw. But this is life under David Zaslav, under a man who has no scripted entertainment experience. For one, people say to me, you said it wasn't going to happen. Never said that. Said it was a possibility. Because it was a possibility. There was a power struggle. Publicly on social media, Gunn and Reeves will pretend they're friends. Reeves will say that Gunn's been absolutely supportive, and I call bullshit on that. We know they're bullshit. I'm sure Matt Reeves cannot stand James Gunn, because most people in the industry can't stand James Gunn, and that's the truth of the matter. But here we go, everyone. There is no hiding place now. The DCU is going to launch on July the 11th. Some people will love this movie, some people will hate this movie. And in fact, people are saying, I totally despise this movie. There's moments in Superman I absolutely adore. Good moments. Unfortunately, they're ruined by the rest of the cringe and the Naked Gun type of parody and the extremism of making Superman a toxic, angry, whiny, straight white male. But this is what these people do. So there you have it, everyone. That's Saturday's edition of the DCU Daily. I will be back every single day to have my word, to say my piece, and no one ain't never gonna silence old Mick.